Like, what is this? What is this?
You know, when it comes to his executive orders, I'm becoming like, I'm confusion. Like, what is the, like you said, what is the purpose? Who asked for this?
It's like they always got something. CTA always got something. Transportation always has something every year.
Yeah. So why do you think that I should be here sitting with you, having a peace conversation with you, if you did allegedly kill my mom?
This month's topic is a bit controversial. Tory Lanez. So back to the tea. So according to a news article from NPR, the Trump administration recently removed a clause from the Federal Acquisition Regulation, also known as FAR. And this clause allegedly, well, not allegedly, but this clause was used to prohibit federal contractors from having segregated restrooms, waiting rooms, drinking fountains, and things of that nature. So from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but from my understanding, the clause, according to the article, was used to state that contractors that are doing businesses with the government cannot have segregated bathrooms, facilities when it comes to race, color, religion. But now that has been removed. And according to the article, there are still like state and federal regulations that prohibit segregation, but it speaks volumes that this clause has been removed and the government is now allowing contractors to, have segregated facilities. So ladies, how do we feel about this? Walking into a business and seeing like this water fountain is for blank only might look like a reality from what this article states. So what do you take from this?
It's crazy because I didn't hear too much about that.
Yeah.
I think maybe because Trump has so much stuff that's happening that I try to get it out of my mind. I don't want to listen to whatever. So when new stuff happens, it's just like, oh wow,
another one.
This and this. So I try to block it out, basically.
Understood, girl.
If that happens, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how far they can even take that. Sorry to interrupt you. Excuse me.
Trying to get a war. Like, what is this? What is this? It's.
I'm not understanding.
It's too much. Come on. What is the real plan?
That's my point. I'm like, what are you trying to do? For me, it's giving microaggression. When it comes to his executive orders, I'm becoming like, I'm confusion. Like, what is like you said, what is the purpose? Who asked for this? Is this something that was going on that I'm unaware of? People don't want to use the same bathrooms anymore or drinking fountains.
I think this stemmed from the gay, lesbian, and the transgender. I think this is where it's coming from. I think that is, like Priscilla said, there's so many of Trump stuff that is always coming out. So sometimes you're like, it's hard to keep up. But if you hear something like, this is really, really strange, and this is coming at a time that everybody is divided, which is really tearing the country apart, because this country now has so many people, and people are learning from what happened. People are learning the real black history from before. So it's really hard that we are going backwards like this.
Yes.
I know that he is against the transgender and the LGBTQ community. So I was thinking maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Yes.
They didn't
give a lot of details to why they...
But if they do that too, that's still a problem, because these are people. These are humans, right? So...
Exactly.
You know what? This Trump's administration, you just don't want to say nothing that it's going to cause any problem. So it's like everybody don't want to talk. The ones who are talking are not saying the right things. So.
Exactly. That's my problem. There's no deeper explanation as to why things are occurring. I think some of it is a business tactic too, because a lot of Republicans don't like the government interfering in their affairs. I'm just curious to see if a business is going to try and act on that. I haven't seen any business.
They are not going to. It's just like what happened with the DEI.
A lot of businesses did act on the DEI one.
They did act on it, but before they didn't, they were like, they didn't want it to do it. Then eventually they started adding on to. You wonder what was the whole decision? Who made those decisions?
Ask for this. We just wanted
but it's a business
eggs to be made.
So.
Okay. Well, I hope that I hope that businesses don't hop on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Well, switching gears to some local Chicago tea. So CBS News recently reported that the city of Chicago might make some major changes to its transit system in 2026 if they don't receive over $700 million from the state. So how will this impact Chicagoans, you ask? Well, apparently residents who take public transportation might face major delays as the city is planning on eliminating about half of its transit lines and bus routes. So this could potentially affect riders who depend on the city to commute, the youth who go to school, the elderly, people with disabilities, and also eventually I think it might impact drivers, because I can imagine that this will call for more of an increase in rideshare services, taxis, and Ubers, and things of that nature. So I think it's going to be like a trickle-down effect in the whole city, potentially. Ladies, how do we feel about this? The reason that I choose to continue to live in the city of Chicago is because of the reliable transportation. My living situation, if my car breaks down, I'm screwed.
Yes.
Suburbs are not really reliable. So like for me, this is a little alarming. How do we all feel about this?
You're definitely right. Like Chicago and I think New York, those are the two top transportation services in the United States. Like Chicago's top tier when it comes to trains. We have 8 buses even to the suburbs. We have a lot of buses. And so if they don't come up with a plan, it's going to be crazy.
Yes, I agree.
You don't want to be going to a bus, getting on a bus with a whole bunch of people, delays, and sometimes when you get to hear those delays because of another train coming and waiting for long periods of time. And that's horrible because they just created an additional train line.
Yes.
Just fixed it and just did a phenomenal job with the creative aspect of how they did the trains.
Yep.
Now it's like they always got something. CTA always got something. Transportation always has every year
something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you feel, Letitia?
You know what? Like you were saying, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people live in the city is because the transportation is very, very reliable. It comes every 10, 15 minutes. Then unlike the suburb, which the buses comes an hour. So I'm like, it's going to be really hard. And with Chicago's transportation system, I really don't understand, because I think, was it yesterday, and I was listening to the news and they were going to add more traffic cameras in Chicago.
Right.
So that's some fun thing we have to look forward to. And I feel like Chicago over the last 10 years, I believe, have made very, very poor decisions when it comes to transportation and how they manage their resources.
Yes.
Even though we have had some mayors who have come and talking about how they are going to fix things, they are not fixing
Brandon
things.
Johnson?
You know what? You know what? He's saying things, but a few of the mayors who came before him have made very, very poor decision by selling all the parking. stands to a completely unknown company. Actually, I think some of us don't work company, but for legal reasons, I'm not gonna say much about it. But they sold it to the company. Now they can't take those down.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they can't take those down because they are going to still pay those money if that company do not get their money, because they already know how much that parking meters come in every year.
Oh, wow.
So if they take those parking meters down, the city still owes money to this company.
It's terrible. Wow.
So now they have to do other things to adjust the money that they owe to these people. That is why they are doing all this, because now they are in debt.
Yeah, okay.
They are in big debts.
I was like, how did we mismanage our funds? I heard a part of the CTA problem is COVID too.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think it's from the COVID. How long was COVID?
Allegedly, from what I read, and
I know, I saw it too. But they have really.
Chicago is known for always
doing
something.
Well, it's definitely troubling. I hope that we get the funding that we need.
You know, we are not going to get the funding because as
by 2026, though.
As Trump has stated, he's not going to give no funds to no sanctuary cities, and we are the biggest one.
That's true. I think maybe that's part of the problem too, but they don't want to say it. Yeah, they're probably like, yo, we need money. Okay, well, sorry. On to some Chicago music tea. So I know in the previous episodes we talked about how some Chicago artists are pushing peace. For those of you who are unaware, Chicago music scene, especially when it comes to hip hop and rap, is very polarized. There's usually tension between artists, depending on what side of the city that they're from, and neighborhoods and things of that nature. But last month, 2 Chicago artists went viral for publicly sitting down and talking about forgiving one another for allegedly the death of a family member. So the Chicago artists that I'm referring to are Tay Savage and Blasian. They're both young, upcoming Chicago rap artists. They apparently did an interview with the popular platform, the Chicago Wave. Shout out to the Chicago Wave. Last month. So they didn't give too much details in the interview about the alleged incident with the death of the family member, but allegedly there's been rumors circulating that, again, allegedly, the rapper Tay Savage was involved in the death of Blasian's mother. So they sat down to try to hash it out and forgive one another. And this is all the rumors were according to an interview he had with Vlad TV, where Vlad asked him. But I digress. During the interview, the artists Tay Savage and Blasian had with Chicago Wave, both artists did end up forgiving one another for the alleged incident. Tay Savage mentioned that he lost a best friend behind it. And it appears that it's some way related to Blasian's mother's death. So both of them suffered a loss, allegedly. So Tay Savage apologized to Blasian for any hurt that he caused the family. And Blasian also did another interview with DJ UTV last month. And she was in tears about the incident and how it affected her emotionally. So ladies, did you all see the interview, and what are your thoughts?
I saw some of the video. The guy in the I see he said in the middle.
Yeah, because Chicago Wave post.
I feel like they were still tense.
Yeah.
Tension.
Yeah.
He was trying to kind of, do like a icebreaker type of thing, like kind of kill the vibe, like the negative vibe that you can sense. Because sometimes people thinking about it like, man, I want to hurt this person. I want to hurt this person. So I think that was one thing that was good, that he sat in between those two.
Yeah.
Then they went into like some other questions. Like I said, trying to loosen them up before they get into the nitty and gritty. I don't know. Everybody's different. I think for me, it'll be very hard for me. It'll be very hard.
Yeah.
It'll be very, very hard.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all saw, allegedly they prayed before they did their interview just because it's such a serious topic.
That's what I said.
You know. Yeah. It would take supernatural strength for me to forgive. Not only emotionally, but just to even sit down in a room with someone and feel like, well, what if this person backdoors me? Once we leave out of here, like, I might backdoor them. I'm kidding. No, but it would be hard. I would have to come with security, protection, and everything because that's major. That's you know. Major. Did you see it, Letitia?
Yeah, I saw the one you sent over. I think I watched a few of that. But like I think I've already said it multiple times sitting on this very spot that I really don't listen to Chicago music. It's not I don't have anything against them. It's just that I feel like there's so much violence and people just glorify them, and which I do not want any part of it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want my family to think that that's cool or whatever because it's not. And I think one or two podcasts ago we said something similar.
Yeah, about the pushing peace.
Yes, about pushing peace. And I feel like
it's a part of the movement.
If they're pushing it and it is something that they really, really want, because you gotta want something for it to work. If it is something that they are sincere about, they have to make it happen. Yeah. But saying it and doing something else is both two different things. And killing somebody's mom, I will not be sitting nowhere with you talking about nothing.
So you forgive somebody?
No, not when it comes to my mom. I don't care. You can kill whoever, but when it comes to somebody's mom, I'm not sitting here and talking to you about it. That's my stand.
Your perspective.
That's my stand, because you have to know that most of us African Americans are raised mainly by our moms. Yeah. So why do you think that I should be here sitting with you, having a peace conversation with you, if you did allegedly kill my mom? You said somebody killed your best friend. That's different. If somebody killed my best friend, I'll be mad too. But
you know how men are over there.
I'll be mad. Yeah. But I'll be mad that if you did that to my mom. I'm not about to sit here. We are not about to sit and talk. We are not about to do no jokes. We are not breaking tension. Stay over there. I stay over here. I'll pray for my own healing and my own mental peace for myself. Not for you, but for me to know that I'm good and I can move on in life. But you and me are not friends. We are nobody. I don't care about you. Stay in your corner. I stay in my corner, and that's it. If you kill my mom, that's definitely how it's gonna be. You stay in your corner, and I stay in my corner.
And that's why I was saying in the interview, you can sense the tension. Yeah. The movement of your, if you look at the movements and trying to act like everything is cool.
Okay, yeah.
She had to sit in between them.
They said the mom was in the streets though, like
it doesn't matter it doesn't matter where she at. It doesn't matter where she at. She can be on the streets, with the streets, off the streets, in center of the street. Still, you are not going to kill her and for me to come and be sitting here and be like trying to talk to you. I'm not about to go put on my good clothes, my good shoe, do my good makeup and come and sit here and be talking to you. We are not doing that.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah. Big ups to her. That takes a lot.
As like I stated before, a few podcasts as well. Chicago needs a lot of things.
Yes.
In order for things to get done. I'm sorry. Every week is something. Yeah. You got to know that in this moment or within a few moments, within a few hours, somebody is getting shot. There was a guy that, I think he was with his friends and it was a setup and he got killed and it was an overkill. And then is another situation, whereas if it's not that, it's domestic or it's missing, and Chicago needs a lot of healing.
I agree.
And I do believe that if we don't get the healing that is needed, if you look around, things are moving around, and unfortunately, mostly our people are dying left and right. So while we playing these ABC games, other people are coming in to intervene. Like I said, history repeats itself. Coming back into the neighborhood, gentrification, and we busy not trying to get to the bag. We busy trying to figure out what Pookie and them doing. Because he ate my cookie.
It's something so simple.
And I feel like most of these fights or whatever, this anger, it's from somebody years ago. So some of it's taking somebody else's beef. So like me, Mabna, and you have a beef. And now, because Mabna and you are fighting, and since I'm friends with Mabna, I have a problem with you. Instead of you trying to get me a job, me focusing on that job, I'm not fighting with you because you and Mabna got beef. That does not make no sense.
And that's why I said,
every
time when we talk about Chicago, I just want us to get better.
I agree.
What do you need to do? You know, you gotta say that to yourself too. So
Okay.
I think we're gonna do better.
I agree. Jumping into our trending African news. So last month, the African country Namibia, which is located on the west coast of Southern Africa, sworn in their first female president. America, take notes. Her name is Netumbo Nandi Nditiwa. She's a 72-year-old woman who won more than half of the country's vote last November, according to an article by BBC News. She's been involved in political movements since she was 14 years old. Okay, what was y'all doing at 14? She was in the field. The article states that, she's focusing on combating land ownership issues, improving the economy and educational system. The article also highlights how she is the second African woman to be ever elected president. So, ladies, how do we feel about this milestone for Namibia?
Is the first one Liberia?
But I know Liberia for years. I know Liberia for sure. For Africa, it's really a big deal. It's a huge milestone.
It is.
Because I think I saw one of her senators speaking for the men, because they were talking about how they were passing some votes for women, and she had to shut that down. So I feel like that is huge. Huge. That men do not have the audacity to speak on women issue if they don't know what is going on. Because since women cannot speak on men's issue, so how can they vote and just make, especially when you bring it to even in the States here, talking about abortion laws, how they are making those laws. It's how are you determining for me as a woman, what do you think is going on with my body? So it's good to have women in position that can speak on our behalf, instead of men always making those decisions for us, because they don't know how to have a period for 9 months. They don't know how crumbs feels like. So how do they dictate for us? So I am so happy, and I wish more and more women can be in the forefront for us, that we are coming up, so that they can make these type of decisions.
Hopefully she's protected and everything is aligned.
Why do you say protected?
My friend always say this, but I'm always the skeptical one about every little thing, because you always get so happy, so proud of what they do. First they get in and everything is all good, and then something down the line, of course we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Something shifts. Hey, I'm gonna take this away from you if you don't do this.
I feel like women when I was doing some of the research, I feel like some of these women have actually done pretty good for their countries. And I feel like mostly it's the men who have problem with some of these decisions. I feel like the women get there and they actually do what they say they want to do, even though it's hard because they feel like being a president is a man's job, which is not.
Yeah,
but I feel like
it's not.
I feel like over the years it has always been men. So it has been like, oh, it's a man's job,
right?
If it started as women, it wouldn't have no man would stand for it.
Yeah.
But since it started with men, it's like, oh, maybe that's for men.
I totally agree.
Right.
Question: do you all think like it's strange that the Western world hasn't? Well, I'll say the United States hasn't elected not one woman president. African countries have elected two.
European countries have also.
I mean, the United States specifically. Like,
I feel like
why do you think that?
I think that it's not strange. I don't think it's strange because the United States is just so masculine in a way that they don't want that. Yeah. Even to elect a black person is a problem.
Definitely.
I feel like with
we have to combat racism and sexism.
Exactly. And I feel like with the US, it's like you have so many obstacles that for a woman will battle. Even if they are black woman, she has to battle her gender, her race to get there. Yeah, even if she's just a white woman, she still has to battle if she's worthy to be there. So it's like women in US have to battle. It doesn't matter if you're a white woman or a black woman. You still have to battle something to get to that seat. But if you go to Africa, women don't battle with racism. More things. They just battle with just one. Right. Just being a woman. So if I overcome that, I am okay.
Yeah.
But for here, no, you can't do that.
I do believe that a woman will be president.
Yeah.
I feel like they will. They will. It's going to take a lot of years.
Now on to our main segment, cancel or uncancel. Sorry. Okay. So this month's topic is a bit controversial. Tory Lanez. We're going to need Tory Lanez to step up to the cancel culture congregation. So, Tory Lanez, of course, is a popular singer, rapper, songwriter who was convicted of 3 felonies. He is currently, the felonies are assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded gun, and discharging it with negligence. So he's currently serving 10 years in prison for the crimes, according to PBS News. And of course, it was in relation to him allegedly shooting rapper Megan Thee Stallion in or around July 2020. Now, although some of his fans and supporters believe that he might be innocent, there's also a growing number of people that low-key canceled him. Especially after he was found guilty. So I say all of this to say that Tory Lanez released a new album last month titled Peterson, which is interesting because Megan Thee Stallion last name is Pete. But I digress. Anyways, after the album was released, it gained some negative traction, which caused Tory or someone on his Instagram account to allegedly make an Instagram post asking people to separate the art from the artist and enjoy his album. Now, ladies, seeing how some people are not in support of him or his music due to the alleged incident between him and Megan, should society separate the art from the artist or the felon, or should he remain canceled?
He shouldn't be canceled. I'm sorry.
Why do you feel like that?
People are too hypocritical. I'm sorry. Like, let's just say he did do something, and I'm not saying. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. This story between Meg and Tory, the whole story is all confusing. I know people want to say, well, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, but then what about this? So I'm that person in this particular situation. Like, I don't, the story is already all over the place.
I agree with
I can't get it. I don't know who did what and who did this. You got the best friend, you got this. There's a whole bunch of drama. So everybody know what happens.
But there is no pictures or videos.
So they say.
Allegedly. I don't know.
But I don't know. I wouldn't cancel him. I'm sorry. I just wouldn't cancel him. We so quick to cancel somebody, and In this situation, I just wouldn't cancel him.
I don't know the head or the tail of the story, the genesis or the revelation of it, because it's all over the place. There is no video of the leg that she allegedly shot. There is no pictures of it, and it looked like she was walking fine. So. Look, I'm not about to say.
I'm with her on that, and that's
yeah, it was. So
I mean, I know people who got shot in the leg and were walking fine.
The next day or 3 days later, oh, okay. But if they did find him guilty, that means that the court did see the video. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like the court did see a video. Something for 10 years. That's a long time for that.
I don't think that's a long time for he could have got charged with murder, like or attempted murder. That is
like we don't know what happened because there is no video. But I feel like the jury had to see some video.
That's how I feel.
Because if y'all believe that the video,
jury can look at crazy serial killers and tell if they're lying or not. But you don't think they can tell Megan Thee Stallion was lying?
You have a point there.
Like, and then she could be charged she could be charged with lying. If I'm just saying, like, that's how serious it can get if she's lying.
Like, y'all think she sat there? Some people who lie too.
Look, there are lie. You can lie in the point that it becomes believable to whoever. Right. But so people do have that ability.
I agree, but I'm saying that trained professionals who will sit there, and this is two black people we're talking about. Both of them are subject to racism. Will sit there and not point out if there's discrepancies in the story to charge you with something.
Look, I feel like if there was a video, that is why he got what he did. But if there is no video and it was he said, she said,
there might have been because we don't know. Because maybe it's not released to the public.
Whatever it is,
but eventually, it's supposed to be released to the public.
Some things is not always going to be released to the public.
Eventually, when Rihanna and Chris Brown situation, we saw the video and we saw what he did, that man did to her. Even though he's still canceled to today. Which I still don't know why.
I don't think.
But people still like have problem with his music and stuff. And this is over 10 years ago situation. And I feel like there should be some, even just if it is a blurry video, it's supposed to have at least a blurry video with her screaming, he shot me. But there is no such
maybe
thing.
There is, and we haven't seen it.
And that's why I said
it's possible that there is,
so
we haven't seen it.
Advance. I would apologize.
Yes,
but this story is confusing to me.
We are not on his side or anything. I don't know if how people are looking at this video. I'm not on his side because I really don't know exactly what happened. I don't think Priscilla is on his side because she doesn't really know what happened either. So I think that whoever is watching, you all think that we are trying to support him. We are not trying to support him. We really don't support him about this situation.
I think he should remain canceled. To be fair, like
if he did what he did,
then he got convicted. Yeah, like we can't be like, he did. Like he got convicted of something. In my opinion, because if I sat there and said if Diddy is found guilty, he should remain canceled. I'm gonna say because Tory is found guilty, he should, unless there's another evidence that comes out that he's not guilty. Okay. That's just how I feel. Okay. I do think that.
I don't go with what Barbara said.
No, y'all feel like he shouldn't be canceled. But I do think that.
I don't know what Priscilla. But I guess since he's found guilty, like Barbara said, then he should remain canceled.
It's just too much.
There's a lot of loopholes in the story. I do agree with that. I don't believe either one of them fully. I don't. That's why I'm believing the court of law. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I trust that as racist as this system might be, I believe that the judges and police enforcement, I believe their word over these. We don't know these two. Of course, Tory is never going to say, I shot her. He's never going to say that. No matter what, he would never say that. So we can't believe exactly what he's saying.
Have a point when Megan won't say, like, I did not shoot this person.
Yeah, who will admit to it? Like, I really think he'll say that?
It's not funny in a way like it's funny, but it's funny in a way that it's too many.
There's a lot of
there with my friend.
That's why I said I don't believe
I'm like they were dating. It wasn't there.
Apparently there was, and then there wasn't. But y'all don't think that shooting someone is warranted for 10 years?
I didn't say that.
didn't say that.
Because she said, that's so extreme. No, this is a human life. If she would have went up a little bit, she could have been dead.
You're right.
Like, that's not a long time to me, personally.
But the story is funny to me.
I agree with that. We all agree that the story
my head is what really happened.
What really happened?
Be in there.
But I don't trust Tory's story. I don't trust Megan's story.
So can we go back?
I trust the law.
How many years was this?
2020.
2020. So please, if you have a timer out there that can go backwards to 2020, Priscilla wants to be at the event.
No, we need. There needs to be clarity though. Like what happened.
Yeah. If you do know exactly what happened to the story, just let us know.
Yes.
Because we don't know.
Send the video to twith9912@gmail.com. I don't know. We can agree to disagree on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, okay. So let's get into our Name 3 segment. Name 3. Okay, so in honor of Women's History Month last month, we're going to name 3 influential women in our lives and explain why, or why not. and explain why they are influential to you. Y'all could also include me. Anyways.
Not the eye roll thing.
I would now name 3. Not you. I really do like Oprah. I know she has a lot of situations too, but I like Oprah a lot because she came from something and she did that thing. Like she was one of the first billionaires, a black woman who was on the grind.
Yeah, definitely.
And however she got there, she started off from the bottom and she gained all the way to the top, and she is phenomenal. Michelle Obama.
Oh yeah, shout out to Mother.
She's very she's also on her A game too. I also wish that she ran for president, but she was like, nah, she ain't going. She has a powerful way of telling people that you can do it and keep going. And she's from Chicago, and I just really love her energy, and it seems like whatever negative is coming your way, it's something positive is coming your way. And this is not necessarily an odd one, but I love her, Lauryn Hill. I really do.
Oh.
And the reason why is because she's not telling you the story, but she's telling you in the sense of back when she was winning all those awards and her powerful messages.
Yeah, her messages are
of
deep.
love,
yeah,
hopelessness, failure, and not allowing people to get to her. It's something about Lauryn Hill that she brightens my soul.
First person will be Nana Mambek Brown. Yeah. Because I feel like her story is so inspirational, because she was a product of a single mother, but she worked so hard, and she's a jack of all trade. So I feel like that's the type of person I feel like I am. And I feel like the second person is you know what? I just started getting to know this lady. Her name is Stephanie, and I feel like I think she has always been there. She's a huge musician in Ghana, but now, like with social media, I have gotten to know her a lot on social media. She's just free will type of woman. She's also a Ghanaian. She's this free will. I don't know much about her story because she's from a rich home. So she got to where she is because she's from a rich home. I think her mom is a queen. So like she got married to this man, but she's a strong will type of person. If you watch her videos online, she talks about like woman empowerment, how you're supposed to embrace everything about yourself, and the way she train her kids she's not your typical African mother. I think that's how I have drawn to her. She listens to her kids and she embraces whatever path that they want to be. And I think the next woman, I'm going to say me.
So none of it is me.
I'm going to say me because I feel like I have.
Look at me looking like, where's the third person?
I said the third person is for me. I feel like I have grown so much within myself, from like being homeless to like growing up and being a mom, like a parent, and like taking care of my family. I feel like that is, I don't give myself a lot of credit. So like when I was actually looking at this, I was like, I think Mama would always do tell me. No, actually, I guess you. But you do tell me that, like, I need to give myself credit, which you are every time you're always constantly telling me that. Because, like, look at what you did. Why are you always saying this? You always come through when you always, and I always forget that every time I always come through for myself. I guess maybe let me add up to the fourth one. Just in case the women in my life are watching.
True.
Like, there are a lot of women in my life that I feel like they have contributed to my growth now. There is women from church that I have bonded with. There is my mom and my aunties and some women that I have fell in love with, that they have like helped shape me up. So, and from high school, like I fell in love with this lady who is still my mentor till today. She's always calling me a consultant. I feel like maybe that's why I am the woman. So I guess I'll switch it. I guess they are third and then and I'm fourth. And like your mom too, so.
Period. Okay.
Yeah, she's fine.
So for me, I would definitely say like you, my mother, of course. Mine is really personal. I admire how confident and strong-willed my mom is, and also emotional and vulnerable. Like, one thing about my mom, she gonna tell you about yourself and she gonna cry. Sorry, but she knows that about herself. Like, and I love that. I love that I see both aspects of her. The second person is my sister. She's very dependable, motivated. She gives great advice, and she's very family oriented. And the third one, I'm going to say is one of my bosses. I'm not going to say if it is my current boss or my old boss. I do have a lot of people that I answer to outside of work. Like, I'm involved in social activities that I answer to a lot of people. So you're going to have to guess. But this person, what I truly admire about her is she's very kind, very compassionate, but she's also a little stern when she needs to be. I think a lot of times women are discouraged from leadership because they feel like you got to be like aggressive and mean to be like in leadership. But this woman is like so nice, so kind, but she still demands respect. Like, so I love that she is able to balance that. And it taught me a lot. And no offense to the girlies, that if that's your personality, like if you're naturally stern and aggressive, then there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like, sometimes women that are not that way are discouraged from seeing themselves in leadership. So this woman definitely, making me be like, oh wow, like women can be impactful and don't have to be like masculine. So those are my three, and of course me. I'm kidding. But yeah. So that is all for this episode, teammates. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you next month. Please make sure you'll hear from us next month. Please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, coworker, just grab their phones and just subscribe. Yeah. But yeah, we love you all so much. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye.